Hey, floralpreneur, it is I, Alison Ellis, here of realflowerbusiness.com. I'm shooting a twofer today. I just did a little video on the number one thing I learned before starting my business. And I want to talk about the next thing I had to figure out. So I was fully on board with how to price. I knew exactly how to price in my business when I started out. But sales, how to actually make a sale, that was a little bit trickier. Now, I was really good at sales in the flower shop setting. I had trained in traditional flower shops for like almost a decade before I started my own business. But not having a flower shop and starting my business, getting sales and figuring out what my flow was took a little bit of time. So if this is you, if you're still kind of figuring this out, I don't want you to feel alone or like you're behind or like you're doing something wrong. It takes a little bit of time and trial and error to really figure out how you book clients and close sales consistently. So I'll tell you a little bit about my business and how I started. I started with weekly orders. So I went to get consistent business. That was my goal. If I just had a certain number of sales every week to get started, well, that meant I was in business, right? So that was my goal. However, I had already fallen in love with wedding work at one of my shops, and I really wanted to pursue weddings. So that was also my goal, to do certain number of weekly accounts and weddings. And this is what I did. This is how I started. And I highly recommend it. I think it was a great way to go. I had some consistent income, and then I had the less consistent yet more profitable wedding work. The trick was, of course, how do I attract customers? How do I talk to them through the consultation to build confidence? How do I send them a quote that looks professional so that they'll accept it? What should my contract say? Like, none of that stuff. I had none of it. None. Okay. So all of that was through trial and error. And it is something that, again, no matter where you are on your journey, it's never done. We're never done perfecting that sales process because, as I can tell you, with over 2 decades in business, the customer changes, trends change, buying habits change, shopping habits change. So the way that we do everything is going to evolve just like you, just like your business, just like your clients. So we have to stay sharp, we have to stay in the game, and we have to stay curious about who are we serving and what is it that they need from us, while also protecting our time and our peace to some degree, because you can jump through a lot of hoops to end up not booking a client. So let me just talk about that briefly. You're not going to book every client, and that's okay. The goal shouldn't be that every single person is the right fit for your business. However, when we do have somebody who's interested, you have them on the phone or you've met them in person and they say, oh, what do I need to do to work with you? Or can we have a call and talk? We want to be ready to say yes, right? Ready for the yes. Ready for us to say yes to them. And even more importantly, ready for them to say yes to us. Because when you say, yeah, I'm a wedding florist, I can do your flowers, and they say, oh, great, let's do it. You can't say, I don't know. You have to be ready to jump. Sure, this is what we do. The first step is this. So I have wedding templates. I created these, of course, organically through the course of my business growth. So as I used to sit and agonize over a wedding proposal, and it would take me like 5 or 6 hours over the course of several days to figure out like what I really wanted to say, now I have a really easy, simple template that I follow, and I can write a quote in less than an hour and send it out. So this is the goal, is yeah, we're going to not always know everything when we start. You can't know everything when you start. But as you begin to learn and figure it out, create a system for yourself. Start to recognize, this is the way I reply to this. This is the first step of our meeting process. This is how I onboard clients, or this is our final step once we are done working together. Here's my final outreach to the client. So all of these pieces are your workflow. And if you want to get a glimpse at my workflow, I've got the whole thing spelled out for you. So my wedding templates are something that I've been offering that really give you just a full, honest look at the conversations that we have with customers most often, at the way you can write a proposal without putting so much of your heart and soul into it before the customer has committed. I show you my contract and all the clauses and why they exist and why you might consider them in your contract, because I didn't have a great contract when I started out, and it wasn't professional and it didn't protect me or my business or my home. So I made sure to get that addressed. And then I've also written down the actual workflow. So aside from what I say to the customers and what the proposal says in the contract, every single step in my workflow is spelled out for you. So it's 16 steps to client management. It holds me accountable so that I know I'm doing everything on my end to follow through with the client. And it also helps to define the rules for the customer so they know how to play ball, so that they know what they need to do to make sure that they secure my services or pay on time. All of those things are something that we need to decide. We don't want to figure it out as we're going along that, oh, wait, I've just talked to this customer for the 6th time this week. Maybe this is too much communication, right? You have systems, you take the lead and show the client the steps. The way I like to think about this is being a choreographer of customer service. You teach the customer the steps so they can dance with you. And it is not always going to be easy to lead a client, but you still need to have your steps so that you can at least show them the direction you're trying to get them to go in, so that you can close the sale more quickly. Why would we wait a month to close a sale if we could close it in 10 days? This is what your workflow should help you do. So if you would like some help with closing sales, having consultations, doing any of that customer stuff that is basically always on repeat, right? Same steps, just a different customer. That's what my wedding templates were designed to help you do. So check them out if you want. They are available anytime. Realflowerbusiness.com is my hub where you'll find all of my stuff, and you'll find my wedding templates individually or all bundled together, which is like the very best deal that you can get. You always save when you bundle. So yeah, that exists for you if you're interested. That was hard. It took me many years to figure it out. So if you've been in business for a year, 5 years, even 10 years, truly, this is a process that takes some time to figure out. So I have a shortcut for you. And again, I'm always here to answer questions if you have them. So reach out if you need some one-on-one help. Keep doing beautiful work in your business. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. And again, thanks for watching all the way to the end. Bye for now.